uncompetitive. Merry Christmas. How are you? All right, everybody. Let's go through the propers. Yo, what's good, everybody? It is your boy, Lincoln Clay, and Merry Christmas to everybody. You know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the bell icon. The rest will take care of itself. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And I want to give a shout out to Lee Weber, as he was the newest subscriber to my channel. I don't get that many notifications whenever people subscribe to my channel. So whenever I see someone's name pop up, I want to try to shout them out. So shout out to Lee Weber. Welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy the channel. And Emiris, what is up? Merry Christmas. H Player, Merry Christmas to you too. I know that there's a lot of the YouTubers today are out, spending time with their families. So it is my pleasure to entertain all of you. Merry Christmas to all of my YouTube friends. I hope you have a great holiday. 2018 is drawing to a close. Excuse me. So 2018, what a year. It's coming to a close. There's only a few days left in 2018. And I think that I look back at 2018 and it's like the majority of the games that I bought for 2018 was Sony. They were either Sony exclusives or they were VR games. I think as far as third-party games goes, I think if I bought any third-party games, because this year there wasn't any. Oh, you said you'll be home soon. You'll holler at me then. Okay. Stardust Acero, Merry Christmas. What is up with you? Spartan God, Merry Christmas. What do you mean you might? What do you mean you might be? To be honest, PlayStation 4 and PSVR are the bright spots of 2004. Yeah, definitely. Sony has made it a wonderful year. So shout out to Sony and shout out to all their studios that brought us some amazing games this year. And I mean, not only did they bring us amazing games, they brought us a ton of games. So many exclusives came out this year. So much PSVR content came out this year. It's every time I think about doing a game stream, because I got so many games to choose from, I'm like, okay, what do I do today? What game do I stream today? What do I stream that people haven't seen me do in a while that they like? And that's a good problem to have. Skyfall Gaming, what is up? Merry Christmas. So I think an overload of games, a massive backlog, that's a good problem to have. And the reason why, like I said, Sony has definitely been a bright spot for 2018, because the positive that they brought us in 2018 far outweighs the negatives. I mean, any negative shit that came out of Sony, I said it before, it was minuscule compared to the third parties and Microsoft. It's just, Feliz Navidad. Definitely, Spartan God. And, the reason why I said maybe with Nintendo, because there was a couple of times where, gamers got upset with Nintendo. I think they got upset with, with the voice chat issue. I think they got upset with that. I think they got upset that Nintendo was charging for online, which you knew that was coming sooner or later. I mean, as far as that goes, in my honest opinion, during the PS3 generation, I think the only reason why Sony didn't charge back then is because they didn't have voice chat. The last generation, between the 360 and the PS3, their online experience, the only thing that made the Xbox better than the PlayStation Network is that Xbox Live had voice chat. I mean, they had party chat, because PlayStation, the games on the PS3, they had game chat, they had in-game chat. And they even had a video chat that I thought was pretty cool. And I'm, a little bit disappointed that they didn't implement that this generation. But I thought the video chat was pretty cool. You could have up to 6 people in a video party chat. So I thought that was a pretty neat feature on the PS3, but unfortunately, that if you wanted to have a voice chat with somebody without the camera, you two had to be playing the same game and talk to each other within the game chat. And I think that was the only problem with the PlayStation Network, is that they didn't have party chat, voice party chat, where you could play whatever game you want and still talk to your friends. I think if Sony would have been able to make that happen last generation, I think they would have charged us back then. I mean, back then, PlayStation Plus was an option, but it had nothing to do with playing online. It was just, it was a kind of like a perk that you paid for. You got games discounted. You got access to games early, which prompted Microsoft to copy them with games with gold. But I think, fact of the matter is, even though I was burning my own games last generation, the voice chat, the party chat was the only reason I played my 360 more than the PS3. But make no mistake about it, I bought my PS3 for the exclusives, because MLB The Show was the reason why I bought a PS3. One of my friends asked me to take a chance on it because I was just now starting to cool off from when, Sony had pissed me off, because I felt like during the PS2 generation, I felt like they pissed me off because I felt like they created a false shortage with the PS2, claiming some warehouse caught on fire and a lot of chips was lost. I really don't know the full story behind that, but I was really mad at Sony, and then they continued to make me mad when they launched the PS3 at $600. I said, how arrogant can you get? So I'm not going to lie. It was like at the beginning of that generation, I wanted Microsoft to put Sony out of business, until Microsoft revealed themselves to be a bigger monster than Sony was at the time. We just didn't know it yet. We didn't know what kind of monsters Microsoft was until that Red Ring shit popped up. So when that happened, I was slowly starting to cool off from being upset at Sony, and I was starting to get, really upset with Microsoft. And one of my friends said, look, it's MLB The Show. He said, this is the best baseball game out there. And he said, I'm asking you to take a chance on it, and he said, if you don't like it, he said, hey, you can take your PS3 back to the store, get your money back. And then he said, if you can't get your money back for the MLB The Show, then just sell it on Craigslist. So, it's low risk, high reward. So I bought it and I played MLB The Show, and I was hooked ever since. And when I bought a PS4, that was one of the deciding factors. When a generation first started, I was trying to decide, okay, which means more to me, playing with my friends over on the Xbox, or being able to play MLB The Show on the PS4. And I was having a hard time making up my mind about that. But Donnie D made that decision a lot easier for obvious reasons. Not just him, but the DRM in general. All that shit made my decision a lot easier. So I bought the PS4 first. And even though MLB The Show wasn't out yet, that was definitely one of the games that I was looking forward to. I absolutely couldn't wait to see it. Same thing when I got my PlayStation Pro, MLB The Show. That was one of the games that I absolutely couldn't wait to see in 4K HDR. So, fast forward to this generation, Sony has made this a wonderful year in 2018. I've had so much fun playing VR. I really enjoyed the exclusives that they had, with God of War and Detroit Become Human. You know, even though I haven't finished Spider-Man yet, it's still I'm still blown away. You know, all three of those games, I'm just blown away by how amazing those games look, and they all have great stories. And these games weren't riddled with microtransactions. And so, and going back to Nintendo, yeah, people got upset about being charged for online. I think people got upset about the voice chat shit. But one thing I did not hear people complaining about with the Nintendo games, I didn't hear people crying about microtransactions, and I didn't hear people crying that the game was, you know, trash for the most part. And Smash Brothers right now is just doing absolutely phenomenal. It's crazy. I think the first 11 days that this game was released, it did I think it did 3 million in the first 11 days in the United States alone. And, you know, the numbers are still coming in. There's still, you know, crazy numbers are still coming in on Smash Brothers. My son got that game for Christmas. And I look forward to him bringing his Nintendo Switch over here so I can play Super Smash Brothers with him. That's one of the, I'd probably say, Super Smash Brothers and maybe Mario Kart 8, they weren't games that I would go out of my way to get. But if, you know, when my son gets those games, those are games that, you know, I like it when he brings his Switch over. How's my son liking his TV? Spartan God, he loves that TV. You know what, Spartan God? I gave my son a taste of the good life with that TV because I said it before, he's got the Hisense H9, a 55-inch version of that TV. Before he had the Hisense H6. I still have a 55-inch H6 in my bedroom. So he's over here and he's playing God of War 4 on my 65-inch H9. And I'm in the bedroom playing Gears of War with him on my H6. He came into the bedroom and started criticizing my H6, talking about the HDR, talking about the input lag and all kinds of shit. So, so I gave him a taste of the good life. So now all of a sudden he's a critic about TVs. But yeah, Spartan God, he is absolutely loving that TV. I mean, that's the biggest gift that I ever gave him. $650 for that TV. And shit, believe me, I would like to get one from my bedroom, but I don't want to drop another $700. You know, Players United, Merry Christmas. Skip Bayless, Merry Christmas to you. I ain't seen you in a while. Crap Gamer has 5 videos up to date. Hey, trying to get some Christmas money. You know, Crap Gamer got to get that YouTube money. Oh God, I forgot. I was gonna say something else. The one named Shadow. Merry Christmas. R.I.P. Beyond Good and Evil 2. That game is dead to me because it's online only. Hey, it is what it is. Spartan Guy, you said I remember last year Christmas, Crap Gamer uploaded many videos in his comment section, ripped him for it. He legit ruined the mood on YouTube for Xbox. You said overdone. You said people still talk about that fat albino rhino. Oh goodness. You know, Phil Spencer, in his own way, kept this console war going. Because he tried to talk all that bullshit about, you know, fanboys are weird to him and all this kind of bullshit. But yet he kept the console war going because him and his henchmen, you know, Aaron Greenberg and Mike Ybarra and shit like that, anything that Phil Spencer said, they echoed it. So they kept the they kept the console war going because they couldn't say anything good about the Xbox brand without trying to throw dirt on Sony to make their shit sound better than Sony's. They couldn't tell you that their shit is good because it's good. They try to sell you on that their stuff is good because Sony's is bad, or our stuff is good because it's better than Sony's. They couldn't sell shit on their own merit. So you know, they pick and choose their moments when they tried to promote the console war. But yes, they did do it. But it was, you know, people like Colt and Crap. They are the ones that won't let this damn console war die. Because, you know, every headline on their fucking videos, you know, can't say something good about Xbox without throwing dirt on Sony. Every time you look around, oh, Xbox has new features that have, you know, PlayStation fanboys jealous and all this shit. I mean, dude, stop it, man. Come on, man. Like, I mean, me, as much as I do not like Microsoft, some days I get tired of talking about them. You know what I mean? Like, get a shit a break some days. You know, enjoy your games some of these days. You know what I mean? With that being said, you know, Sony made me forget a lot of that shit. You know, even today when I played Firewall, I forgot how much fun that game is because I haven't played it in a while. You said you haven't dissed Microsoft in 11 days. I feel proud. I've dissed Nintendo every day this year. Literally every day. See, Spartan God, you know, I can't say anything about that because I don't have a Switch. My son has one. I don't follow Nintendo every day like that. I mean, the only thing that, like, people was bitching about the voice chat. People were bitching about paying for online. People were bitching about Nintendo's policies as far as YouTube, you know, trying to monetize everybody else's videos and shit. But people were not bitching about Nintendo's games. So I only find third party to be lacking on Switch. And truth be told, I think Switch owners are fortunate to get as many third-party games that they have on Switch because, you know, critics made it sound like it was going to be impossible to have third-party games on the Switch unless it was some PS2 looking shit because of how underpowered this thing is supposed to be. So, I mean, like, I think like FIFA was like one of the first AAA games that I heard was coming to the Switch. And then when NBA 2K came to the Switch, you know, people were bitching about having to download, you know, the rest of the game. I think, you know, you could only get part of it on there and then had to download the rest. But I was still shocked that they made it happen where they was able to get the shit on the Switch. And I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the shit run at 60 frames per second, even though it was in 720p or some shit? You know, so feel free to fact check me on that, you know. So, but still, it just goes back to, you know, Sony and Nintendo for the most part were the only, as far as, you know, strictly games, they were the only bright part of 2018. So you think NBA 2K ran dog shit on the Switch? You know, I won't argue about that because it's something I didn't really dig into it because, I mean, if I wasn't going to buy NBA 2K on the PS4, I sure as the hell wasn't going to go out of my way to get it for the Switch. So the only problem I got with Nintendo is they're starting to get cocky again because the Switch is selling well because they haven't released enough exclusives this year. But, you know, Nintendo knows that exclusives are their bread and butter. New Uncle Bumpy, Merry Christmas. What is going on? they, you know, Nintendo knows exclusives are their bread and butter, and they know that they gotta put these exclusives out because that's what sells this handheld console hybrid, whatever you want to call it. They had to put these exclusives out, and I'm sure, you know, Super Smash Brothers is doing phenomenal, and I'm sure they got some shit planned for you know, for 2019. My underwear has a bright spot. If you're wearing black underwear and it has a bright spot in it, you might want to send that to in the lab to get it analyzed. Hey, Craig Harris. Oh, Craig Harris. Merry Christmas to you, my brother. How you doing? Emiris, you made it home. How's the VR stuff treating you? You know, Emiris, I'm having a great time on the VR. Like earlier today, I did a 2-hour stream of Beat Saber. And they got about 100 and I think I got about 130 views, something like that. You know, and I even gained a couple of subscribers out of it. I did not plan to be streaming that long, 2 hours. But you know, it was fun. I had a great time playing Beat Saber, and I can't wait for them to add some more music. Your PC should be done in the next 3 to 5 days. See, oof. When I was at, you know, Craig, when I was at Best Buy yesterday, I damn near bought a gaming PC on impulse. I damn near bought a gaming PC. You know, there was a PC. It was a Cyber Power PC. It was about $1,300, and it had the glass on the side. It had about 4 fans that was all lit up, looked like a Christmas tree in there. And the graphics card that was inside that thing, you know, was like damn near looked like it was about as long as my forearm. And again, you know, this was a $1,300 PC. You know, I got a $2,500 limit on my Best Buy card, and my balance was 0, so I didn't owe any money on it. So when I purchased this Yeti microphone, along with a couple of other things that I bought at Best Buy, I damn near bought that computer on impulse. And the biggest reason why I did not buy that computer is because I didn't want to get this computer home, and then for me to get the most out of it, I got to turn around and run back out and drop $400 on a 4K monitor or something. I just say I didn't want to drop all that dough. I just didn't want to drop all that dough at once. But I think around tax time, I think that's probably when I'm going to get a computer. I don't know if I'm going to build it myself or if I'm going to buy it, but I think that's when I'm going to make the move because, you know, I claim 0 on my taxes. Because I would rather them give me back $2 than me owing them $500. So with that being said, even though I pay a shitload of taxes into the system, I don't get back near what I pay into it. But at least it's better to get something back than to owe them. I've been down that road before where I owed them and I missed a couple of payments and I'm getting letters threatening to send me to prison and shit. You know, I'm supposed to be paying them $25 a week. And I missed a couple of payments. I was late on a couple of payments. And I'm getting letters threatening to send me to prison and shit. And I was like, fuck that, never again. I'm not going through that shit again. So anyway, with that being said, around tax time, you know, I usually get somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500, you know, give or take. And I usually, you know, that's my toy money. I do something with that money. I treat myself to something. So this might be when I'm going to go ahead and get a gaming computer. Yeah, Christopher Hart. I think this was about this was about I think it was about 26 at the time. So yeah, this was about 25 years ago. No, what it was is I worked for a restaurant at the time. And basically I was only making minimum wage. And I was one of those dudes. I was like, I wasn't even living check to check. I was borrowing from next week's check to pay last week's bills. That's how irresponsible I was back then. and that's how tight my money was. So I claimed myself on my taxes so I could get a few more dollars on my check. But then when it came time to file my taxes, I ended up owing them. I ended up owing them about $700. So I went down to the, the federal, to the local federal branch in my city, and worked out a payment plan with them. So I think I was supposed to be paying like $25 a week. And there was a couple of times where, I was late on a payment or I missed the payment. Next thing you know, I'm getting a letter, threatening to send me to prison and shit. So I said, fuck this. I'm going to pay them off. And then I said, moving forward from now on, I'm going to claim 0 on my taxes. I don't care if they take more money out of my taxes. Never again. I cannot have these motherfuckers threatening to send me to prison. That's fuck that shit. So with that being said, yeah, I claim 0 on my taxes. They take more out of my check. So when tax time comes around, go figure, I put a shitload of money in there and don't get as much back. But again, I would rather get $2 back from them than to owe them $500. So with that being, so again, I will get somewhere. Usually I get somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 back, from federal. Usually get about $300 or $400 back from state. And then, I kind of, sitting is a push. I don't live in Grand Rapids. I don't live in Grand Rapids. I don't work in Grand Rapids. So I don't, I don't pay city taxes. They don't take shit from me, so they don't owe me shit, so. But short story long, yeah, when tax time comes around here, when I get this, when I get this rack, as they call it, when I get this rack, then, I'm going to debate on whether to build a PC or whether to just buy one outright. But if I decide to build a PC, the two things that worry me the most is the graphics card, how much that's going to cost, and the monitor. 4K monitor, this FreeSync shit and all that kind of bullshit. Uncompetitive. You don't pay tax? Shit. Uncompetitive. If I didn't pay taxes, I'd be able to drive a Benz off of a blue collar salary. So, I mean, here, man, they snatch, I don't know, after all is said and done, the taxes that they take out, and then insurance and all that bullshit, they end up taking out like damn near 1/3 of my check. So, Ben Taylor, Merry Christmas. What is going on with you? Yeah, I know you can connect a PC to a TV, but I keep hearing that about, if you're gonna, spend some serious money on a computer, that you might as well get a monitor to go with it, because I understand that, the input lag on the TV is much worse than a monitor. So. No income tax. If you have no income, shit. If you have no income, how the hell you still alive? Overdone. In Norway, if you take a student loan, you don't have to pay for it. Spartan guy, you said I need to learn Spanish. Bon tiempo color. So I know tiempo is time, and calor, I don't know if that's Spanish for color. The only words you said that I know is tiempo. I know that's time. When I worked at this place, Puerto Rican dude was teaching me Spanish, but he ended up having a heart attack and had to quit working. So there was my Spanish lessons out the window. Cyber Dragon, Merry Christmas. What is going on? Clara Pool Pizza sexy on Los Angeles. Okay. Hey, here's a funny story about when my friend was when I worked at this place called Lax. The Puerto Rican cat that was teaching me Spanish, you know, every day at the end of the shift, I will like walk around to everybody and be like, "Vámonos, tiempo para irnos," like let's go, time to go, tiempo para irnos. And hey Vader, what is up? Merry Christmas to you. So, so the dude that was teaching me Spanish, his name was Pete, and there was a woman worked there. Her name was Rosie. So he told me, he said, "Hey, go up to Rosie and tell her de como un chacho un robot." And I was like, what does that mean? He was like, "Tell her get your ass back to that robot and get to work." I said, "Okay." So I walked up to her and I was like, "Rosie." She was like, "Yeah." I said, "De como un chocho la robot," or some shit like that, un robot. She was like, "You know what you just said to me?" And I said, "Yeah, get your ass back to work." She said, "No, you told me you gonna eat my pussy at the robot." So I went back to Pete, said, "You motherfucker." And he broke out laughing. Oh shit, that was hilarious. So Saris is great. Merry Christmas. So what's up with you? Uh Cyber Dragon, mi hablo español, my pequeño. So this is how you say that. Vel tu trasero trabaja, trabajo. Hey, I really do want to learn Spanish. I really do. So, um, one of my fears about learning Spanish is that I always felt like it would. I felt like it would take a lifetime to learn. Trabajo's work. That was another thing that Pete would tell me to say. He would tell me to tell people and say, "Vámonos, trabajar." I guess that was supposed to be get back to work or get to work or something. And I think like at the end of the shift, he told me like it was like, tiempo para irnos, para casa, like, it's time to go. It's time to go home. Danny Ruiz, Merry Christmas. What is up with you? So yeah, again, I definitely want to learn some Spanish, and then to think about it, where I work at now, shit, I'd say about 35-40% of the women there, um, are Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. Squash potato, what is up? How you doing? Merry Christmas to you. So yeah, I mean, between them, I'll find somebody to teach me Spanish. For example, me gusta. Oh hell no! I mean, I'm gonna sound stupid trying to say that Spartan God. Me gusta jugar juegos de acción. Yeah, I sound stupid trying to say that, so I'll leave that. Me gusta, I like. Me gusta equals I like. Jugar means play. Juegos are games. So you say I like to play games. Action. So you like to play action games. Me gusta jugar juegos de acción. Okay. I have to keep working on that. Hey, feel free to throw me little bits and pieces, whenever I do streams. I might not do very well at remembering it, but I always got the receipts that I can come back and look at them. So, but as I said in the description, third-party publishers have made 2018 a year to forget as far as third-party games are concerned, because every single third-party game that comes out, I'm damn near apprehensive about it. I'm like, okay, what's the catch? I don't care how good this game looks. I don't care how fun this game is. What kind of monetization scheme are you going to put in it? And they eventually show their hands. Even if the game don't start out with microtransactions, eventually they put them in. So, and I mean, this year has just been one controversy, one bullshit right after the other. Bethesda, EA, Activision, Microsoft, every one of them has done something this year that like just made me just shake my fucking head and be like, made me feel like, you know what? I can't even enjoy my fucking hobby anymore without there being some bullshit monetization schemes in it. I'm like, people like, Activision, EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, they're not interested in bringing you a great product. They're interested in trying to bleed you to death. Lining their pockets and their shareholders is more important than satisfying the customer. And it's not until we stop buying a shit that they finally get the message. Now some of these publishers, I understand, is in panic mode because their stocks have plummeted and investors are pulling out. So I don't know. In a couple of years, a couple of these publishers may very well get what they deserve. Now, Young broke it down. I guess the way he broke it down, because of how far EA's stocks have plummeted, I guess he crunched some numbers, and the way he broke it down is they basically lost 21 billion in stocks. That is a hard hit right there. 21 billion. So if they continue to go the trend that they, something's going to have to give. I've said that in my last podcast that if these publishers, if they stocks continue to plummet, something's going to have to give. Because you can't keep saying we're going to turn up microtransactions. You can't keep saying we're going to keep implementing more microtransactions, because at the end of the day, none of this shit will work if we don't buy it. So they got to draw the line somewhere. At some point, they're going to have to make us happy. They're going to have to find some way to entice us to buy their shit. Because they can put 1 trillion microtransactions in if they want to, but none of it won't mean shit if we don't buy it. So with that being said, using EA for an example, they already have to moving forward. Every time they build a game, they have to approach it one of two ways. They have to promise that there won't be any egregious microtransactions in their pay to win shit, and that it'll only be cosmetic. Or they can take the route and lie to us and say that the shit won't be in there. And then after after the game is already in people's hands, then introduce microtransactions. They could try that, but it would further fuck up their reputation and it would jeopardize the next game that's coming up. Because I think right now, I think what happens with Anthem, that game could be DOA if EA fucks around and open their mouth again the way they did with Battlefield 5. And I said it before, it's got, this gender issue with Battlefield 5. I was not concerned about that. I really didn't care about that. What I was concerned about was them telling me if I don't like it, don't buy it. So I said, okay, I won't buy it. And I didn't until the shit went down to $30. And I was like, okay, now I got to jump on it. So you said Activision has a parent company? I don't know who it is. So, but hey, if they got a if they got a parent company, it's trickling down though, because I'm sure some of you guys been hearing about what's been going on at Activision Blizzard, that they've been laying people off and shit. I guess they like kind of sent out a memo about a month ago saying that they wanted to focus on cost cutting and saving money and shit like that. Translation is some of you motherfuckers about to get laid off. But they didn't. A lot of them didn't know it. I guess only the support team knew that the layoffs was coming. And so now that people have been taking buyouts to go ahead and quit. They got a year's salary to go ahead and quit. So that might be the better move, to take that year's salary. Jakku, you say Anthem is going to flop. I think it very well could flop. And I think if Anthem is an online game only and it doesn't have a campaign, I think that's going to affect sales. And if EA fucks around and open their mouth again and say that if you don't like it, don't buy it, that's going to be the dagger. That's going to be the nail in the coffin for that game. So EA definitely better watch their mouth and be careful about how they approach this game. In the case of Bethesda, I think we're going to have a situation where they're going to be apologetic and, oh, woes is me, and crying about, apologizing for releasing a bad product. I think that's how they're going to market their next game. I think whatever their next project is, I don't think they're going to sell this game on whether it's a good game or not. I think they're going to try to sell this game by apologizing for Fallout 76 and promising that this game won't come with all the mess and controversy that Fallout 76 did. Wanye Tudor, what is up? Wanye, if you want to, I know we're friends on Twitter. So if you want to just go ahead and direct message me on Twitter and give me all your information as to where I got to send this game to. If you want to do that, I will get it in the mail on Wednesday, because I know the post office is closed tomorrow. So I'll get it in the mail on Wednesday, and be warned that, because I pay whatever the minimum cost is to get it sent to wherever you at. I would probably say, expect it to take, 3 to 7 days for it to reach you. I'm buffering, Wanye. If I'm buffering with anybody else, please let me know. You say you can hear me now? Here, let me turn the gain up on this microphone, on this Yeti. Oop, just changed it right here. Here we go. Let's do this again. All right. And let's tilt this microphone down a little bit towards me. How is that? How is that, Wanye Tudor? How do I sound now on this Yeti microphone? $100 for this Yeti microphone. $100. Just like Dave Chappelle said, bad boy, nothing but the finest. I got some bad news. I got to turn off this Yeti microphone, but I'm willing to leave this Yeti microphone on if somebody go get me some Cambodian breast milk. Oh boy. You said megalophone. I did tilt the microphone down towards me a little bit, so I hope you guys can hear me a little bit. And I did turn the gain up on the microphone a little bit, so hopefully I'm coming through nice and clear now. Dave Chappelle is a legend. Hey, what's some of y'all on the Dave Chappelle show? What's some of y'all favorite characters that he did on the Dave Chappelle show? I probably say my two favorite characters that Dave Chappelle did was probably Silky Johnston and Leonard Washington. when he did Silky Johnson, he said, "Now, if y'all excuse me, I gotta go put some water in Bucks Nasty's mama's dish." Prince and Rick James, yeah, that was hilarious. When he did Leonard Washington, when they did the World Series of Dice, and Eddie Griffin kept hitting all them damn sevens, it was like 7, 7, 7. And Leonard Washington looked at him and said, "Man, you must be the goddamn devil." Yeah. Oh shit! Check out the game listed for PS4 on this site. Then click Xbox and start laughing. All right. Prince would kick ass in basketball, then cook pancakes. Hey, I heard Prince could basketball. I heard Prince could ball for real though. You said the Chappelle Show was starting to kill him mentally. There's if anybody remembers the group Public Enemy, one of the members of that group, Professor Griff, I was watching a video and he was breaking it down on detail. He was breaking it down in detail why he quit the Chappelle Show, because Dave Chappelle did say that the show wanted to go in a different direction, and that's why he left the show, but he didn't give any details. But Professor Griff said that they was wanting him to start to do some skits where he was, dressing up like a woman. So according to Professor Griff, they approached him about it and, approached him about doing some skits where he was dressing up like a woman. And he said no. And I guess they was prepared for him to say no. So one day he came into his dressing room and there was a dress hanging on the door. And that pretty much iced it. And that's why he, quit the Dave Chappelle Show. See, I know what they was thinking, though, when they gave him, when they advanced him that $25 million check, they probably thought he already spent that money and figured he was going to have to give in to their demands as far as, changing these skits around. And, I bet you that threw their asses for a loop when he gave them that $25 million back and quit the show. You said, Wanya, too, as soon as he did that, the N-word skit, they demanded bullshit. They see, that's, and I don't know if that was a racist thing, a racial thing, where they was trying to change the black man's show around or whatever. I'm not going to say it was racial. I really don't know. But one thing I do know is that obviously Comedy Central or whoever couldn't leave well enough alone. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. The Chappelle Show was doing just great. They shouldn't have fucked with it. They should have left it alone. But they found out the hard way. If the Comedy Central station or US, whatever that network is, if they get hold of another Dave Chappelle, that'll probably teach them a lesson. They better leave it alone. If the shit is a success, don't fuck with it. You dressed up as a woman twice for theatrical reason. It isn't humiliating, but I get where Dave Chappelle was coming from, because people follow you, like it or not. And you're a celebrity, people follow you. Dave Chappelle, if he would have did that shit and as popular as his show was, it would have influenced some people. It would have influenced some men to dress like women. Especially with take Michael Jordan, for instance. Like it or not, he is a person that black people look up to. And if you would have seen Michael Jordan dressed up like a woman, one or two things would have happened. Everybody would have dropped him like a bad habit, or everybody would have started dressing up like women. So he definitely has an influence. So did Dave Chappelle. And I don't blame him for walking away from the show. I think they should have just left it alone. It wasn't broken. They should have left it alone. I mean, hell, I still feel like America is one of the most racist countries on the planet. And Dave Chappelle was able to put out like damn pretty much racist comedy that everybody loved. Everybody got a good laugh from it. But, you know, the producers or whoever decided they wanted to try to fix something that wasn't broken. They should have just left the shit alone. Now, every time any of us watches the Dave Chappelle show, I figure we probably all at least once say, damn, what, you know, what could have happened? How far could this show have went if they wouldn't have fucked with it, if they would have just left it alone? But, you know, but anyway, you know, let's head back to gaming. And I guess I'll only touch on this for about 3 seconds. According to Michael Pachter, Xbox Scarlet will do 4K 240 frames per second. And see, Zaire was the first one that I saw touch on this. He was doing a podcast earlier today, and it was entitled that, you know, Pachter, Xbox Scarlet does 4K 60 frames per second, VR, you know, VR capable and all that good stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, because it was coming from Zaire, I took it with a grain of salt, because I know how he liked to fuck people and just, you know, I know how he liked to fuck with people and throw shit out there just to fuck with people. So I couldn't take that, you know, I couldn't take that as facts, what he was saying. I said, okay, being that this is coming from Zaire, I'll wait until I hear a couple of more people touch on it before I finally pass an opinion on it. Spartan God, hey Lincoln, you know what I always think about? What if PlayStation 3 was actually adopted by gamers even at $600? How do you think gaming would have turned out today? Hey, good point. We could easily be paying $800 for a console if Sony would have been able to get away with selling the PS3 for $600. But truth be told, even though that price was ridiculous, you still was kind of getting a bargain, because the Blu-ray was the new technology, and buying a PlayStation was your cheapest method of getting a Blu-ray player back then, because standalone Blu-ray players was costing $800 and shit. You know, you said, speaking of Zaire, he's live. The irony, you know, Zaire is entertaining. So that part of him, I like it. You know, I like the entertainment part. But sometimes when he delivers news, sometimes I'm like, okay, I gotta wait till I hear it from. I gotta wait until a second or a third person talks about it before I'm like, okay, this must be what the big talk is right now. So Ryan the Professional, you know, put out a video, you know, and he covered that too, about Pachter saying that, you know, the next Xbox. Not only, you know, according to Ryan's video, not only did Pachter say that the Xbox Scarlet is going to be 4K 240 frames per second, he also predicts that it's going to cost $400. I just said, okay, now, you know, now he just saying some crazy shit just to say it. You know, he trying to get all eyes on him. He trying to stir the pot, because you cannot say something that's just absolutely ridiculous. Even if, you know, the Xbox One X still costs $500, and some of these games on the Xbox One X can't even reach 30 frames per second. Now, how the fuck they going to be able to come out with a console that does 240 frames per second and keep it at $400? Impossible. I mean, fuck. Nobody knows what the specs are going to be for the PS5. Nobody has any concrete evidence what the specs are going to be for the PS5. But one thing everybody is speculating is that it's going to cost $500. 240 frames per second alone would cost over $1,000. Yeah. Because I was about to say, I don't know a lot of shit about PC, but I'm under the impression that anybody that I know of, or anybody that I heard of, that has a computer that can do 240 frames per second, I know I'm under the impression that they put no less than $1,500 into that computer. That you played PUBG on the X today, it was terrible. Absolutely. He said Ryo Hayabusa 2080 Ti can't even do those numbers. So dude got to be talking just to hear himself talk. So I mean, to dedicate a full podcast to that subject wasn't even worth my time. I just said, okay, I'll just, on my next podcast, I'll say 2 words about it and move on. And then as far as, Zaire's podcast, when he said that, the Scarlett is supposed to, be able to do VR, I'm under the impression that the Xbox One X is probably capable of doing VR right now, because they were supposed to partner up with Oculus, but they didn't do it. So I wonder if there is VR technology baked into the X, but they just decided not to take advantage of it. There's a whole bunch of reasons going around as to why Microsoft didn't, get involved with VR. Some people was saying that they don't want to leave the Xbox One S and the vanilla Xbox behind because it would be alienating them. My thought was that they didn't fuck with it because it didn't take off for Sony the way Microsoft hoped. That's what I was talking about when I referred to Microsoft wanting drug money. Because Sony didn't sell 8 million VR units over 3 days, Microsoft decided they didn't want to go down that road. But slowly but surely, the VR venture is paying off for Sony, because I think if I had to make a guess, I think right now Sony is probably sitting on 4.5 million VR headsets sold right now. And they're definitely going to hit 5 million before this generation is up. I mean, right now the PSVR is on sale again. They got another bundle. I think it goes on until tomorrow. The sale started on the 16th and it goes on until tomorrow. They have the Borderlands Beat Saber bundle for $250. That gets you the headset, the camera, the move controllers, and those 2 games that I mentioned for $250. That is an awesome deal. I wish I would have known about it. I wish I would have known about it on the 16th when the sale first started, because I would have jumped all over YouTube trying to promote it and trying to encourage people to go out and get one, because I really, really, really want to see VR grow. So, I guess I'm doing free work for Sony promoting the PlayStation VR, but I mean, they've made it affordable. But I figured that was going to happen. I knew they were going to have a sale for Black Friday, and then I said if they want to sell a few more units, they're going to need to have a sale for Christmas, which is what they're doing right now. I think if Sony pays attention to when Americans have, money to play with, they should, if they're smart, they'll have another sale around Christmas, not Christmas, but tax time. They'll have another sale around tax time, and I can sell them some more units. So, hell, this Christmas sale right now, if they do it again for tax time, and then throughout the year, I think by this time next year, Sony will have cracked 5 million units sold, which was my goal that I'd set for the PSVR to begin with. That was the number that I was hoping that they would reach before this generation was over. I was hoping that they would be able to sell 500 units, and I think they're going to smash that before the generation is over. But keep in mind that I said this before, that I think if they would have launched the PSVR day and date when the PS4 first launched, it would have gave people time to, more time to warm up to it. And I think by now $200 would have been the permanent price of the PSVR, and I think they would have been flying off the shelves. Why you too? Maybe you should visit my Twitter and see proof of my skills in Uncharted 4. All right. Players United. Lincoln Clay is the Sony VR man. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm the Crumb side VR dude. A lot of dudes, a lot of dudes promote VR, that are a lot bigger than me. Sugehead Gaming, Petrifying Pumpkins, PSVR Frank, Polish Paul, PSVR Without Parole. These are all dudes that promote, PSVR, which is cool. The only thing about those dudes is their names are so big as far as VR goes that they get free games from the developers. So, I wish I was in a position to get free games from these developers for promoting VR. But at the same time, I think that if these developers were to send me free games, they would want me to say good things about the game, even though it's trash. So that's the one thing about me buying games out of my own pocket. I can say what I want about these games and give my true feelings about the game. So, Players United, Xbox say you VR pony. Hey, it is what it is. At least I got games on that VR. What do they got over there? They don't have VR. If they want to experience over there on that side, if they want to experience VR, they can go spend $2,000 to build a computer and buy a Oculus or a Vive headset, or they can buy a VR headset on the PSVR. And the reason why I say a VR headset, because a lot of these Xbox that act like they can't stand Sony, a lot of them got PlayStations. I'll be the first one to admit I do not like Microsoft, but I have an Xbox. So you can't tell me a lot of them Xbox over there don't have PlayStations. They do. They know the deal. They know where those games are at. So Spartan God, that dude H Daddy called me the N-word 3 whole matches. Hit up Naughty Dog and then listen on a match. Sony banned his account. You know what? I don't pay attention to people calling me the N-word whenever I play online, because a lot of them dudes, when they use that, a lot of them dudes are not as racist as they try to act. They just say that word to try to trigger you because they trying to get into your head and trying to piss you off and shit like that. Because if you get ready to play somebody in a competitive match and they say something to get you mad, it's going to take you off your square and you're going to fuck up. I said that before. When I played Creed, I knew it wasn't a matter of if it happened. I knew it was a matter of when it happened. I was playing Creed, and the dude that I was getting ready to fight, I had picked Rhino, and I can't remember what fighter he picked, but when we met in the center of the ring to touch gloves, he came up there. What you mean, fuck? I mean, you fat pork belly motherfucker, you diver. Fuck you. Merry Christmas too. But yeah, we met in the middle of the ring in Creed, and the dude said, "Gonna kill you, nigger." And I didn't say a word because I already knew the dude was trying to get in my head and trying to make me mad. And I'm not gonna lie, the dude beat me the first match. And then we had the rematch and I knocked him out and I said, "Fuck you." And he was like, "Oh man, I gave you a chance." I was like, "Fuck you and your chances." I said, "Eat a dick." And then I disconnected on his ass. Reclaimer, what is up? Same deal, Reclaimer. Are we let me go ahead and check Twitter. I'd like to think that we already following each other on Twitter, Reclaimer, but just a second. Because I still got the sticky pad with your Twitter handle on there. Just a minute. Reclaimer 13. Yeah, we follow each other. We follow each other, Reclaimer. So being that we follow each other, Reclaimer, just go ahead and direct message me your information on Twitter. You know, your address, where to send this Monster Hunter World to, and I'll get it in the mail on Wednesday. Oh, Diver, you said you Merry Christmas to me. I got you a Christmas present, a bunch of vials of horse tranquilizers. Hey, that's mighty kind of you. I got you I got you a backstage pass to your favorite restaurant. Just walk in the kitchen and just eat whatever you want. Motherfucker, you. So, damn, with tomorrow being Christmas, I wonder if we're going to do the round table tomorrow or not. That's a good question. I go back to work Wednesday, so tomorrow I'm not going to be up super late. I mean, as it is, I need to get off of here pretty soon because I just finished my Christmas shopping right before I went live. And I need to get these presents wrapped because with my family, we exchange gifts on Christmas Eve and then just lay around and be lazy on Christmas and eat and shit like that. So I am going to have to shut this down pretty soon so I get these presents wrapped and head over to my parents' house so we can get ready to exchange these gifts. I've been on for a little bit over an hour, so that's cool. Family-friendly podcast. I pick and choose. I guess I pick and choose when I start swearing. You know, I don't think I swear a whole lot. Reclaimer, I got your information. What the hell kind of address is this? The street. See, I get that it's 100th Street, but the other, you know, the address itself, it looks like you got 3 digits spaced in 2 digits. So, I mean, what the hell kind of address is that? I mean, but it's cool. But I'm gonna, you know, I'll double check that address with you before I send it out because I mean that is a strange looking address. But I'll double check with you before I send it out. You said Thrash is always cussing. Hey, you know, cool, but hey. You know, it's the man's intelligence why he's my favorite YouTuber and not because he cusses, you know. I don't know. I guess the only time I like really get the cussing is when I go on one of those rants where I'm like furious with Microsoft or something. That's one of the few times that I kind of getting a little kind of cuss more than usual. So, but I think other than that, I don't think I swear a lot. Hey, Diver, you not my favorite YouTuber. You are my favorite pork belly, you motherfucker. You, damn, there I go cussing. Christopher Hart, these fake Uncharted 4 online multiplayer thugs, they curse everybody out. Does a lot of people play the Uncharted 4 online? Do a lot of people play that? Do they still play that now? Me, with the Uncharted 4 multiplayer, it's cool that it's there, but I don't know. I haven't played it in a while. You know, it feels really arcadey to me, but it's cool though. because, you know, the multiplayer adds replay value to the game. You want to hear some crazy shit? Play Red Dead. I still got Red Dead. I'm still up in the air. He said, I treat Microsoft like a disappointed child. Microsoft just, I mean, they just lie so fucking much. Today's Monday. If Microsoft said something today that we know is a blatant lie, by Wednesday is going to be old news, because by Wednesday they're going to tell a new lie. They just lie so much that it's just like we just used to it now. You know, if Sony get caught in the lie, is like people act like they want the government to come in and shut them down. But Microsoft lies so motherfucking much. It's almost like it's just like part of the gaming culture. It's just, okay, so Microsoft lied, you know, move on to the next one. So Players United, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you get a nickel for robbing a stagecoach, but it costs you $1,000 for the gun that you probably used to rob that stagecoach. And it's because of that I'm like, I'm really stuck as to what, you know, whether or not I'm going to keep Red Dead Redemption or not. I barely played the campaign. I'm probably only about 2% done with the campaign. The multiplayer beta, I was going to play that, but then once the shit started looking like it was going to be a fetch quest, and I was like, okay. And I just couldn't get into it. So I popped it out, and the game is just sitting there. And I haven't played it. It's just sitting there. Oh, Diver corrected you. You get 19 cents for robbing a stagecoach. You know, at $1,000 for a damn gun, I hope they provide you with a default gun when the game starts. Otherwise, you're gonna have to throw rocks at them motherfuckers. Okay. I see you trying to type something, Reclaimer. So I'm waiting to see what's going to come through. Diver, so why don't I give it away as a Christmas gift? Okay, there we go, Reclaimer. That looks more like it. So I will get that in the mail on Wednesday. Diver, I'm trying to like make myself find time to fuck with this game, because the multiplayer, like the original Red Dead, I like the story behind the original Red Dead. I like the multiplayer on the original Red Dead, and I was just hoping that they would build on that, and you know, I was hoping that they would build on it. So I'm trying to set aside some time to give this shit, you know, some real quality time, so I can be 100% certain about whatever decision I make about this game. So said Diver, let the man keep Red Dead. All right. Oh, look at Mitsu owns that dude. Oh man, he might have just messed up my night. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I see it empty. He just went live and he's playing Tetris Effect. And that was one of the games that I was debating about whether I was going to go live with tonight. I was debating whether I was going to play Tetris Effect or whether I was going to play GT Sport. Said you can't play online if you're not about that life. It's raw out there. I hope it is, because I want to get in. I want to get out there online and do some ruthless shit. He says, "Spare diver. The police discovered that he's not black." Well, since he's not black, they probably won't shoot him, but they will beat the fuck out of him. Said uncompetitive. You can play GT Sport. Be warned though, my next stream, assuming that it happens, assuming that I don't fall asleep, my next stream will probably, game stream will probably happen in the middle of the night because I still have to go to my parents' house tonight. Andrew Wilkins, notice everyone who is an Xbox fan or defender is extremely retarded and can't game. Grim Pachi yesterday said the PS5 may not be as powerful as the X, and the X could be the next generation Xbox. Now, as far as saying that the X is going to be more powerful than the PS5, I doubt it. I got no proof of it, no inside sources, but I do believe that the PS5 is going to be noticeably more powerful than the X. Now, in terms of the X being the next generation Xbox, I had threw that out there. I had threw that theory out there before that I felt like it wouldn't make any sense for Microsoft to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, even billions of dollars, to develop a super powerful console that may not sell, because the console may not sell very well if they don't have the content for it. If they go off and build a 10, 12 teraflop console, as far as day one goes, the only people that's probably going to buy it are the ones that bought the Xbox One X that don't mind upgrading. Those are probably the only ones that's going to buy it. This shit is not going to appeal to casual gamers. Ain't nobody going to jump up and spend $500-600 for it. I do think that the next so my thinking was that since the groundwork has already been laid for the Xbox One X, I figured that it's possible that Microsoft might just throw a better processor in the Xbox One X and just call it Scarlet. Andrew Wilkins, he was saying that the X could get a firmware update to make it more powerful, and that could be the next Xbox. Like I said, I believe that what Microsoft would probably end up doing is just put a better processor in it and call it Scarlet. That Scarlet just going to be the Xbox One X in disguise, and it's just going to have a better processor in it, so so the console can actually handle those good looking graphics and still be able to have a good frame rate. That was my thinking. If they want to go off and build a console with the same specs as the PS5, okay, I can believe it. Even though it doesn't make sense to me, I can believe it. But for them to go off and build a console that's supposed to blow the PS5 out of the water, I'm not believing that shit for 1 minute. I mean, there's 30 million, well, not 30 million. I'm going to say about 38 million Xboxes out there. And the Xbox One X has only been out a year now. So if you ask me to give you some numbers, I would have to think that the Xbox One X, that they probably sold somewhere between 2 and 4 million units. And those numbers aren't going to get much better since we already near the end of the generation. They're not going to sell that much more of them. I mean, I think because as far as the Xbox One X selling at $500, that console has gone as far as it can go. The only way they're going to get a spike in sales for that console now is if they knock the price down, to $400 or $300 permanently. So you think it will overpower the new PlayStation? I really don't care, Diver. I really don't care if they do build a console that has more power than the new PlayStation. I'm looking forward to the VR. That's my biggest reason for being excited about the PS5 is what they could probably do with the VR, next generation. So one thing's for certain, there's going to be content over on the PS5. The question is, will the shit be ready when Scarlet comes out? Well, they have compelling content, or y'all gonna get a bunch of AA shit to reflect these studios that they picked up. Diver thinks Xbox means his ex's box. Damn, I'm approaching an hour and a half that I've been on. Damn. Well, I do hope that that I provided some entertainment for everyone. Definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. You said there has been no work on VR, just more VR games. My belief, Diver, is that when the PS5 comes out, being that the VR technology is going to be baked in, they said you're going to get bigger and better experiences with VR next generation. I think my interpretation of that is that I think we're going to see more AAA games in VR next generation, and that's what I'm looking for, at least in the beginning, because I can promise you, as VR continues to grow and it becomes more of a mainstream thing for Sony, if third-party developers see that there's serious money in VR and they start adding a VR mode to their games, it's only a matter of time before the microtransactions are not far behind it. Oh, yeah, without a doubt, Christopher Hart, the VR is strong because of Sony. I said it before. If it wasn't for Sony, VR would have died. Oculus and Vive is not selling worth a shit. And to me, it's not so much about those headsets. It's that you got to build a computer. You got to sink about $1,000, $1,500 into a computer strong enough to push those headsets. So you tell me from an economic standpoint, which looks more attractive, spending $1,500 to $2,000 for a computer and a Vive and an Oculus headset, or if you can catch a PS4 on sale for $200 and you can catch a PSVR bundle on sale for $250, $200. So you can get a console and a VR for $400, $450 if you catch those things on sale. It's basically a plug and play VR. So when Polish Paul gave the numbers a couple of weeks ago, PlayStation led with 1.3 million units shipped. And the only thing that even came close was Oculus Go, and that had 1.1 million. But the Oculus Rift and the Vive basically sold like 400,000 and 500,000 respectively. So the PlayStation doubled them. So again, if it was not for the PlayStation VR would have died. But because Sony is now the VR market leader, developers have another avenue to try to make money on their games. So now, because the PlayStation VR is leading the market, whenever a developer develops a game for VR, it's not a matter of if they should bring the game to the PlayStation VR. It's a matter of when are they going to bring it to the PlayStation VR, because that is the avenue for them to make the most money, because there is the most headsets over on the PlayStation VR. You said there's no research and development, high spending on modern consoles these days. This will explain. I mean, that's the only way. Saris is great. That's the what you just said right there. I was trying to say that unless Microsoft can already build on the foundation of the Xbox One X and go from there, I don't see how they can build a console that's going to, you know, produce these kind of numbers that Michael Pachter said and keep that shit at $400. I don't have to be an analyst or a tech geek to know that shit. So yeah, I see the Zaire is playing Battlefield 5. I am gonna, you know, I think I kind of challenged him in one of his podcasts. You know, I told him he need to come get these hands and fight night, and called him a fuck nigga and told him he need to come get these hands. And I'm gonna fuck with him again. I'm gonna go in one of his. I'm gonna go into the chat of one of his podcasts and call him out again and tell him he need to come get these hands. Diver, you said I'm sure the next generation VR is going to be different and more expensive. I'm prepared. I'm prepared for that. I told people that in my previous podcast that I'm prepared to spend about $1,000 because I'm assuming that the PS5 is going to be about $500, and I'm guessing that the next generation PlayStation VR is going to cost somewhere between $400 and $500. Given that this thing is possibly wireless, given that this thing is possibly going to, you know, be in 1440p. And be able to do 120 frames per second and that kind of shit, then yeah, I expect it to be more expensive, and I'm prepared to pay for it, especially knowing that we could have more AAA games on the horizon. So I'm prepared to pay the money for it. You said I can come get these hands in Red Dead if I got the balls. Hey, I'll come. But no, I don't got Red Dead. I got Red Dead for the PS4. So if you want to see it, yeah, you know, I'll fuck with you. But also, Diver, I told everybody, you know, I was reluctant to admit it, but I bought an Xbox One S a couple of weeks ago because I told everybody I want to be able to play. I want to be able to game in 4K HDR with my son. I want to be able to play, you know, my son and I play Gears of War. And on the standard Xbox One that I had, the colors looked washed out. You had all those silver shiny lines on the outside and shit. And 4K eliminates a lot of that shit. And even if it's the Xbox One S, it still looks better than the Xbox One. I paid $200 for it. I got a copy of Battlefield 5 with it. You know, so, and it's in my bedroom. So I'm gaming in 4K with my son, at least, you know, at least on Gears of War, you know, and I got a copy of, you know, Battlefield 5. So I'm playing that in 4K HDR in my bedroom. So, you know, my PS4 is still my main console. That's in the living room. That's on my 65-inch TV. But when I'm ready to call it a night and I'm getting ready to go to bed, I'll go into my bedroom and then I'll turn on the Xbox and play Battlefield, you know, for 45 minutes or whatever. Anyway, with that being said, Diver, now that I got the Xbox One S, if you remember, I was complaining about how my 360 games wouldn't work online. They do now. So I definitely want to play some spades with you. If you want to play spades, it should definitely work now. And if you got Ryan Landis, Merry Christmas to you. And Diver, and if you got fight night, then you can go ahead and get your hands, you know, you can go ahead and get these hands in fight night too. I'll go ahead and clean your ass up on fight night. So, you know, Diver, I said it before, I don't have a problem with the Xbox itself. I don't have a problem with the console. I have a problem with Microsoft. Ryan Landis, you said you're trying to edit a share factor and you have no idea what you're doing. Ryan Landis, the man you want to see is King Thrash. If you want to know how to use that share factory, that man can work a damn miracle with that share factory. He is the one that you want to see. He is the one that taught me how to use it. So my full-blown videos, every one of my full-blown videos that I've done was done with the share factory, and Thrash taught me how to use it. So go see Thrash if you want to learn how to use that share factory. The share factory is for the pro who got DA hoes. The Xbox console is trash, horrible UI, hard to find settings, upload studios is garbage. I don't use any of that shit, Andrew Wilkins. The only reason why I have this Xbox One X, this S, is so I can game with my son in 4K HDR. I have a 4K TV in my bedroom, and the 4K HDR wasn't being utilized. And although I wanted to buy another PlayStation, I didn't see the point of owning two PlayStations. I already got the Pro out in the living room, and that is my primary console. The S is just something that when I'm ready to go to bed, it gives me a little something to play, because before Battlefield 5 came out, I wasn't even playing shit on my standard Xbox One that I had. I was just using it for YouTube. But, you know, I play Battlefield 5. I play Gears of War 4 with my son. So I guess that's really all my Xbox One S is being used for. But, you know, like I told Diver, if he want to come get fucked up in some spades, you know, he can come and get it. Players United, you say Hair Factory. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Impatient Fire, you know, a lot of these games is trash. You know, a lot of the Xbox games are trash. You know, at least the Xbox community are the worst. All they do is complain, damage control, and blame everyone else. I definitely side with you on that one, Spartan God. You said you ain't saying nothing but a word, but hit you up on some spades. All right. Diver, I'll put my it don't matter. I can do it here, but you know, but in the Google Hangout, I'll put my Xbox gamer tag in there. You know, it's not hard. It's Lincoln Clay, all capital letters except the O in the word Lincoln is actually a 0. Evil Skeletor DW. Okay, just a second. Because I do have the Xbox app on my phone, so let me see if I can send you a friend request right here from the app. Give me a second, but I remember I can't talk because I've been suspended on Xbox. Hey, I got suspended on Xbox before too, Diver. Somebody, I can't remember what game I was playing, but somebody pulled some bullshit on me and I called him a faggot. See, but the thing about it is I didn't say it over voice chat. I texted to him. I called him a faggot. You know, I sent him a message calling him a faggot. So there was the proof right then and there in black and white. So he reported me, and Xbox suspended me for 14 days. I couldn't use the voice chat and shit. So that weekend when my son came over, he told me, he said, I've been sending you messages and you didn't answer. And I told him, I said, I got suspended. And he said, well, please don't get suspended again. So I've been watching my mouth on Xbox Live. I've been not calling people names and shit like that because being that my son, he's 12 years old, he don't have a phone yet and shit like that. So that is my way to communicate with my son. So if I'm out and about and my son needs something because I have the Xbox app on my phone, that's how he contacts me. So let me go. Let me see here. It says fine friends. All right. Skeletor. DW. Says can't find this person. Did I enter his entire gamer tag? Oh, I put Skeletor. All right, let's try it again. Something's coming up. Oh, hey, Diver, do you got some shit Bear Chicago on there? The Bears and all that shit. I'm up. It says I'm from all y'all up in you, and I'm feeling homesick. I'm assuming that's you, though. I'm assuming that's you, Diver. So let me go ahead and send you a friend request. All right, Diver. I just sent you a friend request from this Xbox app on my phone. So, yeah, I found you. I sent you a friend request. So, if you check your Xbox, you should see a friend request there. You'll know it's me. $9:39. 96 minutes. So I've been on for a little bit over an hour and a half. So, all right, Diver. I got Battlefield 5 on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. I got Fight Night. I got Spades. I got For Honor. I got Black Ops 4. I got Call of Duty World War. Those are some of the games that I got. So we can hook up. So I'm sure you got at least one of those games. So we can definitely hook up and play one of those games. Yep, that's the one. Yep, I sent you a friend request, Diver. Like I said, those games that I mentioned, both of the Call of Duties, Black Ops, World War II, For Honor, Battlefield 5, Gears of War 4, Halo 5. Those are some of the games that I got. But Halo 5, I have to go download that one. I have to re-download that one because now that I bought that Xbox One S, I didn't re-download a lot of those games that I had, so I have to go back and re-download Halo if you want to fuck with that one. So I went on about a half hour longer than I planned. I need to get to wrapping these presents, and I'm getting thirsty, so I want to drink a big, giant glass of mango juice and ginger ale. That sounds refreshing right about now. So let me get to it and get to wrapping these gifts and head on to my parents' house. I'm going to try to stay up. Halo 5 has some Christmas maps. Because of how big that file is, uncompetitive, there's no way I'm going to be able to get the whole thing downloaded tonight, because it's going to interfere with my other shit. If I try to download that game tonight, it's going to disrupt any of my other shit that I'm going to try to do, like trying to play something on my PlayStation, trying to stream it. So I'll just have to download Halo while I'm sleeping and then just be prepared to play it tomorrow. But you said I'm doing coke, all that snoring I'm doing. Fuck you, motherfucker. Hey, that's that damn Yeti, man. That shit picks up everything. Like I said, man, that shit sound like, even when I set my phone down, like right there, that was a pen. I dropped the ink pen right there on the desk, and that shit sound like I dropped a fucking log. This Yeti ain't no joke. I'm saying, I'll get to it, uncompetitive, but I'll get to Halo 5, tomorrow or something. So just letting it be known that I do have it. So he said, sounds like my nose. Man, fuck you. My nose is picking up everything. Motherfucker, you grab shit with your belly. You walk up to the damn dinner table and pinch a burger with your belly. And bend down and take the burger out of your belly with your mouth. Swallow that shit whole, motherfucker. Hey, but this Yeti is the truth. This Yeti is the truth. So for you YouTubers that want a serious microphone, I definitely said, nah, nothing ever hits the ground cuz off my belly. Of course not, because you can catch the shit in midair with your belly. Of course you ain't gonna let a fucking cheeseburger hit the ground. You're gonna snatch that shit out of midair with your belly. Shit, Diver, something ever happened where like if your jaw get wired shut, you would have surgeons like put a zipper in your belly and shit so you can just open it up, stick a cheeseburger right in your belly and close it. Fuck. Oh shit. But yeah, like I said before, this Yeti ain't no joke. So if you want a good microphone, you don't mind dropping a C note or dropping a bone, this is a great microphone. I absolutely love it. Like I said before, it sounds like I'm in a soundproof booth. Oh, excuse me. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for me. Like I said, let me get to wrapping these presents so I can get back. I'm gonna try to stay up all night. I'm gonna try not to fall asleep because this is gonna be my last night that I get to stay up before I go back to work. So let me take care of this Christmas shit. Come back. It could be in the middle of the night, like 1 a.m. Eastern time, what have you. But I'm gonna try to stream something. Tetris. GT Sport. I'm gonna try to stream something so we can hook up again and kick it later on this evening, this morning, whatever you want to call it. So thanks for watching, everybody. You know the drill. Give it a like, lock the door on your way out, and Merry Christmas, everybody. And I want to thank everybody for visiting Wakanda. And I will holler at y'all later. Just hit me up on Space. All right, for sure, Diver. All right, y'all. I will holler at y'all later. And y'all have a good night. Merry Christmas. Stay safe.